Right, welcome to the Final Accounts Committee. Apologies for absence, we've got John Petrinos. Declarations of interest? Any declarations of interest? No? No? Steve will do that when he comes in. Minutes of the meeting, which was the 1st of December 2022. Can I have a proposer and a seconder? Mike? All those in favour? Brilliant, thank you. Are there any matters arising from the minutes?
Interesting that we had apologies from Mrs. Buckley. Yes.
Well, very good. Sure we can correct that. So it's nice for Mrs. Buckley to apologise for not being at the meeting. Hello, Mrs. Buckley. That is not me telling you.
What do you mean it's S. Buckley rather than Mrs. Buckley?
It's Mrs. Buckley on the minute. Do you have any declarations of interest, Stephen?
No.
Thank you. Public speaking, there are no members of the public present. So, item 5, the statement of accounts. To you then.
Thanks, Chairman. Good morning, members. At its 4th of July meeting, this authority received the 2022-2023 financial outturn statements and the pre-audited statement of accounts, pre-audit statement of accounts. Those reports detailed the financial performance of the authority over the course of 22-23 and described its financial position as at the end of March 23. Since then, our auditors, Grant Thornton, our external auditors, Grant Thornton, have completed their audit. The attached report sets out their findings arising from the audit of the authority's financial statements. We have colleagues from Grant Thornton that are on screen and I'll introduce them shortly to present their reports. This committee is established to receive these reports and is asked to undertake 3 recommendations. Firstly, to receive the audit findings report, which you'll hear from shortly. Secondly, to authorise the Chief Finance Officer to issue the letter of representation, as set out in Annex 2. So in order to provide assurance to all our auditors that they have received complete and accurate information, the Audit Committee, this Final Accounts Committee, is asked to provide letters of representation, and the proposed letter of representation is set out in Appendix 2. And the third item on this is to adopt the statement of accounts as set out in Annex 3. So once you've received the audit findings report and the authorised myself as Chief Finance Officer to issue the letter of representation, the Final Accounts Committee has recommended to formally adopt the statement of accounts for 22-23. It's not the purpose of this committee to once again look in detail at the authority's financial position at the end of the March 2023 financial year, but for those that are interested, the explanatory foreword details the content of the financial statements, provides the financial performance and the outlook of the authority. So please can I now introduce Barry Morris, who's our key audit partner, and Liam Royal, Public Sector Audit Manager from Grant Thornton, to provide their audit findings report. Thank you.
Ben, thank you very much, and members, thank you very much for letting us attend remotely. I'll say this now: we're away on a strategy day, so we're in a hotel somewhere which has fairly dodgy Wi-Fi. So if we drop out, we do apologise, and I can assure members that I'd much rather be down in Exmoor delivering this rather than doing it remotely. Members, the report is in front of you. I'd also just like to give some acknowledgements to Ben for pulling the accounts together. I think this is a very positive report. I think you'll be able to identify that from the fact that there are no adjustments. But I think Ben has been great at supporting the audit for a set of statements that he didn't pull together. So Ben, I put on record our formal thanks in relation to that. So members, we haven't identified any audit issues or adjustments that have been required to be made to the accounts. We did identify a small number of disclosure issues which have been incorporated. There is one unadjusted item which is to the value of about £12,000, and that just reflects the potential understatement of the authority's share of the assets within the pension scheme. So that means that the net pension fund liability is potentially overstated by about £12,000. So again, not a significant sum. The other main issue that we identified during our work was around the audit of leases. And previously the authority hadn't identified that it had any leases and therefore hadn't made any disclosures in respect to that. But we did identify that there were in fact leases at the authority. So Ben promptly updated the accounts to reflect that and did sufficient work to make sure that appropriate disclosures were made within the financial statements. Members, the auditor's annual report has already been reported to you. If I go through to the appendices, you'll see a small number of recommendations there, one in fact, and then Appendix C shows the follow-up of our prior year recommendations. So again, this demonstrates to us that officers value the audit process and do take on board our findings and have put those adjustments through. Members, finally, the audit fees are set out in Appendix E, and you'll see that those are in line with what we proposed, so no additional fees have been proposed. As Ben said, there is the letter of representation that's also on the agenda. This is our standard letter of representation. There are no additional disclosures that we've included within those. Hang on, Liam's now saying that there is one.
Sorry, yes, there is one disclosure just around the deposit held for the Lymouth Pavilion rental, where there's an amount of about £18,000, which is held by the authority but is not included in the accounts on the basis the authority does not actually control that money. And there is a specific representation on that balance, which is consistent with prior years.
Thanks, Liam. Sorry, I forgot that, members. And again, we've done lots of work to make sure that it's appropriate for the authority not to include those balances in line with accepted accounting practice. Members, that's it from us. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much. Members, do we have any questions? Mandy?
Thank you. First of all, huge thanks and congratulations to the staff. You don't very often read such a clear audit report, so well done for that. My question was just around page 20 of 94, which covers reference to the SAP system. Then there are some regs there, and it relates to Somerset Council's work as opposed to this authority. I obviously did attend the audit committee, so I'm aware of this. But I'm just wondering, for readers here that are not connected with that, would it have been helpful to have a link or some background to the other audit report, given these are shown as read, but really there is no consequence to them sitting elsewhere, but should that knowledge also be here to these committee members? That's all I was going to ask.
Thank you. Liam?
So if I can respond to that. So Mandy, thanks very much for the question. We take that on board. So in future reports, we'll make sure that where we are carrying forward issues where you're reliant upon that third-party system, that we provide better communication. So it's a helpful observation. So apologies about that, members. In terms of the issues in front of you today, we've made sure that we've done appropriate work to make sure that where those errors or those significant deficiencies have been identified, we've changed our audit work. So that mostly impacted around the journals, and there were no issues that we identified in relation to journals. So those deficiencies have not been exploited in any way.
Any further questions? No? All happy? Right, well, we've been asked to receive the audit findings report from Barry and Liam. So thank you very much for that. And confirm the changes contained within the report being carried out, which we've also been assured that's happened. We need to authorise the Chief Finance Officer to issue the letter of representation and adopt the statement of accounts for 22-23 as in Annex 3. Mandy?
I did have a couple of just questions on the statement of accounts.
Okay.
So I do those now,
yes,
as you're about to.
Yeah.
They're very quick. Question was, the first was around usable reserve, and they've increased by 180,000 over the course of 22-23 to 3.213 million, and unusable reserves have increased over the same period by 10.744 million to 18.17 million. The increase in usable reserves is primarily due to the receipt of 440,000 of additional core grant from DEFRA. I couldn't see any commentary in the accounts. I think it's page 49 of 94 from memory. I couldn't see any commentary around the increase in unusable reserves. I did sort of go looking, and if it's there, I've missed it. Apologies. and I think much of the large figure swings relate to the decrease in the pensions deficit, which is covered in page 49. But again, it was just that commentary within the accounts that I was looking for. And the other question, I'll do them both together, on page 54, the total comprehensive income and expenditure shows 11.574 million. Can I just check if this again relating to the pension fund, as there's no commentary? I was just following the large figures through the accounts really and making sure there was clarity on them. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Manny. Yes, I mean, the reasons are as you've set out, so the main increase in the unusable reserves are due to the pension liability decrease. CIES, sorry, is that page numbering slightly different, but you're looking at CIES on the core statements?
Yeah, so it's on the full statement, so there's two. One was on page, I think it's 49 of 94, and the other one, well, they're both on 49 of 94. You talked about a small move in the usable reserves, but not the larger one in the unusable reserves. That was just a question.
Yeah, so you've got the 11,100,000 difference, which is referred to as note 33, so that's the pensions note for the accounts. So it's explained through that.
Thank you. I couldn't see reference to that in what I was reading because I went through the notes as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, are we happy for a proposer, please? Stephen, thank you. And seconder. Thanks, Mandy. All those in favour? Thank you. There is no other business of urgency, so can I thank Barry and Liam, and I hope you have a really pleasurable strategy away day, and thank you for coming along.
Did you vote?
Yes, we just voted.
Oh, you just did first and second. I missed all
I think
that.
all in favour, we all voted.
Fab. Thank you. You're too quick.